Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Renu Kataria with the evening news. The headlines. Former chairman of Tata Sons Cyrus Mistry killed in a road accident in Maharashtra. Vice President, Prime Minister and corporate world mourn the untimely demise. President Draupadi Murmu to confer national awards to 46 selected teachers for 2022 in New Delhi tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to also interact with the awardees. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to embark on a 5-day visit to Mongolia and Japan tomorrow. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina begins 4-day visit to India tomorrow. Indian Army Chief General Manoj Pandey reaches Kathmandu on 4-day visit to Nepal. Home Minister Amit Shah launches anthem and mascot of the 36th National Games in Ahmedabad. In Asia Cup Cricket, T20 match of Super 4 stage between India and Pakistan underway in Dubai. And in tennis, Rafael Nadal and Iga Swiatek reached the 4th round of the US Open. And now the news in detail. Former chairman of Tata Sons Cyrus Mistry was killed in a road accident at Charote in Palghar district of Maharashtra this afternoon. He was 54 years old. According to Superintendent of Police Balasaheb Patil, the road mishap took place at 3:15 p.m. when the Mercedes car in which the business tycoon was travelling hit the wall fencing at the end of the bridge on the Surya River. Cyrus Mistry was going to Mumbai from Ahmedabad. Our correspondent reports that along with Mr. Mistry, there were 3 other persons travelling in the car.
Apart from Cyrus Mistry, another person who was sitting with former Tata Group chairman on the back seat of the car was killed in the accident, while the driver and another individual sitting on his adjacent seat has been grievously injured and they have been shifted to hospital in Vapi, Gujarat. State's Deputy CM and Home Minister Devendra Fadnavis said that he spoke to the State DGP Rajnath Singh and has instructed for a detailed investigation into the car mishap. Notably, Cyrus Mistry had succeeded Ratan Tata as the chairman of the Tata Sons Group in the year 2011. However, he was later ousted in the country's most high-profile boardroom coup. With Nita Saure from Palghar, this is Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, several leaders and personalities from the corporate world expressed grief and shock at the untimely demise of the business tycoon. The Vice President in a tweet said Cyrus Mistry's death is a huge loss for India's business community. The Prime Minister in a tweet said Cyrus Mistry was a promising business leader who believed in India's economic prowess. Mr. Modi said his passing away is a big loss to the world of commerce and industry. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar recalled his various interactions with the business leader over the years and extended his deepest condolences to his family. Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde also expressed grief over the demise of the business tycoon. Taking to Twitter, Harsh Vardhan Goenka, current chairman of the RPG Group conglomerate, said Mistry was a friend, a gentleman and a man of substance. Condoling the untimely demise of Cyrus Mistry, Mahindra Group chairman Anand Mahindra said it is hard to digest this news. In a tweet, he said he was convinced that Mistry was destined for greatness and life should not have been snatched away from him. Co-founder of e-commerce platform Snapdeal, Kunal Bahal, also offered his condolences. President Draupadi Murmu will confer the national awards to 46 selected teachers for the year 2022 in New Delhi on the occasion of Teachers' Day tomorrow. The Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education, has been organizing a national-level function on Teachers' Day every year to confer the national awards to the best teachers of the country. The selection is done through a transparent and online 3-stage selection process. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also interact with the winners of the national awards to teachers at his residence in New Delhi tomorrow. The purpose of national awards to teachers is to celebrate and honor the unique contribution of some of the finest teachers in the country who, through their commitment and hard work, have not only improved the quality of school education but also enriched the lives of their students. The awards accord public recognition to meritorious teachers working in elementary and secondary schools. The Teachers' Day will be celebrated tomorrow, marks the birth anniversary of the great teacher, philosopher and former President of India, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. President Draupadi Murmu has greeted teachers across the country on the eve of Teachers' Day. In a message, Ms. Murmu said, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan is an inspiration for all teachers who try to instill, in addition to knowledge, human values in the students. The President said, through the National Education Policy 2020, changes are being brought in the education system. Ms. Murmu said it is also providing opportunities for the inclusion of Indian cultural values and languages in the education system. She hoped that more talent will join the noble profession of teaching. The President expressed confidence that the efforts of the teachers will help the country to achieve new heights in the field of education.
Union Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Zubin Irani visited several facility centres at Aizawl in Mizoram today. These centres are functioning with support from the Women and Child Development Ministry. Mrs. Irani is on a visit to Mizoram. Mrs. Irani visited Observation Home, Swadhar Greh and Ujjwala Home in Aizawl and reviewed quality of facilities and services provided to the women and child inmates at the centres. While visiting the Sakhi one-stop centre for rehabilitation of victims of domestic violence and 2 childcare institutions, the minister interacted with the functionaries of the centres. During the interaction, she assured of looking into matters of providing more help to these centres for better operation by the ministry and supporting the distressed women and children. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will be on a 5-day visit to Mongolia and Japan starting tomorrow. This will be the first ever visit by an Indian Defence Minister to Mongolia. It will further consolidate the defence cooperation and strategic partnership between the two countries. During the visit, Mr. Singh will hold bilateral talks with Mongolian counterpart, Lieutenant General Saikhanbayar. He will also call on President of Mongolia, Mr. U. Kurlesuk. In a tweet, Mr. Singh said he will also visit Japan to engage with India's allies and partners. Mr. Singh said he will be attending the 2+2 ministerial level dialogue in Tokyo. The minister added that India seeks to strengthen defence cooperation and advance regional security and stability.
Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri will lead an official and business delegation to Milan in Italy tomorrow to attend the Gastech Milan 2022. Gastech, the world's largest gathering focused on LNG as an abated bridge fuel, will bring together leading ministers and CEOs to discuss the evolving energy landscape, assess post-pandemic economic recovery and navigate a route to a just energy transition. During the 3-day visit, Mr. Puri will participate in the select ministerial panel of the opening ceremony along with Egyptian Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources and State Secretary of Energy of Portugal. He will also take part in the ministerial panel discussions titled Energy Security and Transition and a Just Energy Transition for Developing Nations. The Petroleum Minister said the visit will be an opportunity to highlight India's economic growth story and the investment opportunities that exist in India across the entire energy value chain. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina will be on a 4-day visit to India from tomorrow. During her visit, she will call on President Draupadi Murmu and Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar. The External Affairs Ministry said Prime Minister Hasina will also hold bilateral consultations with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will call on Ms. Hasina. She is also likely to visit Ajmer. This will be the second visit of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina since October 2019. Ahead of her visit to India, Bangladesh Prime Minister described New Delhi as a tested friend, saying it had stood by Dhaka in its hour of need. In an interview to a news agency, Ms. Hasina said Bangladesh always remembers India's contribution during the 1971 war. Prime Minister Hasina emphasized on closer cooperation between the two neighbors, saying there can be differences, but these should be addressed through dialogue.
India is our neighbor. We have very good relationship. We had many problems, it's true, but we solved many problems. Sharing up Ganges water, then our land boundary, maritime boundary. Then we had refugees in India for 2 decades. I brought them back, settled them down when I signed Chittagong Hill Tracts Peace Accord. So that way, and also, which is very, very important, I feel that exchanging the enclave, this is very, very important. Many countries, they just fight between themselves, but we didn't do it. With a friendly gesture, we solved this land boundary and also exchanged our enclaves.
Indian Army Chief General Manoj Pandey reached Kathmandu today on a 4-day visit to Nepal. General Pandey's official visit to Nepal from 5th to 8th September will provide an opportunity to enhance existing bilateral defence ties and strengthen cooperation in areas of mutual interest between the two countries. This is his first visit to Nepal as Chief of Army Staff. During his visit, General Pandey will call on President, Prime Minister and the Chief of the Army Staff of Nepali Army. He will also discuss avenues for enhancing India-Nepal defence relations. The Defence Ministry said the Indian Army Chief will be conferred with the honorary rank of General of Nepal Army tomorrow in a ceremony at Seetal Niwas, the official residence of President of Nepal. He is scheduled to visit Nepal Army headquarters where he will pay homage to the fallen soldiers and have interactions with the senior leadership of the Nepalese Army. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Former chairman of Tata Sons Cyrus Mistry killed in road accident in Maharashtra. Vice President, Prime Minister and corporate world mourn the untimely demise. President Draupadi Murmu to confer national awards to 46 selected teachers for 2022 in New Delhi tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to also interact with awardees. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to embark on a 5-day visit to Mongolia and Japan tomorrow. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina begins 4-day visit to India tomorrow. Indian Army Chief General Manoj Pandey reaches Kathmandu on 4-day visit to Nepal. Home Minister Amit Shah launches anthem and mascot of the 36th National Games in Ahmedabad. In Asia Cup Cricket, T20 match of Super 4 stage between India and Pakistan underway in Dubai. And in tennis, Rafael Nadal and Iga Swiatek reach 4th round of US Open. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
मुट्ठी भर अंग्रेज और हमारे विशाल देश पर राज करने का स्वप्न देखते हैं, पर हम इनके स्वप्न को चकनाचूर कर देंगे।
निकल पड़े स्वाधीनता के पथ वाले, स्वतंत्रता संग्राम की सुनी अनसुनी कहानियों के साथ स्वराज हर रविवार रात 9 बजे डीडी नेशनल पर।
Welcome back. You are tuned to the evening news on All India Radio. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Electoral Officer Hirdesh Kumar has invited all major political parties for a meeting with him at Nirvachan Bhavan in Jammu tomorrow over special summary revision of electoral rolls. The meeting has been called amid controversy over voting rights to non-locals in the Union Territory. We have more from our correspondent.
The Chief Electoral Officer has sent invitation to all major political parties for the meeting. The political parties have been communicated that the meeting has been convened of a special summary revision of voters. The meeting comes aimed on ongoing controversy over the CEO's remarks that J&K will get additional 20 to 25 lakh voters, including outsiders, after special summary revision of voters. J&K administration had termed the controversy as misrepresentation of facts by vested interests. Meanwhile, the Election Commission of India will unveil draft electoral roll on September 15. Gulshan Rana for AIR News, Jammu.
Former Union Minister and former senior Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad, who recently resigned from the party, held a public meeting at Sainik Farms in Jammu today. Addressing the rally, Mr. Azad said he stands with the people of Jammu and Kashmir. He said that he will launch a new party soon and the first unit will be formed in Jammu and Kashmir in view of the impending assembly polls.
अगले वक्त में जो नई पार्टी बनेगी, कई नाम लोग दे रहे हैं, वो सब गलत है, अभी डिसाइड नहीं किया। हमारी पार्टी का और झंडा जम्मू कश्मीर सूबा के लोग और लीडर मिलकर जो तय करेंगे वही झंडा होगा, वही नाम। तो मेरा नाम पार्टी का भी एक ऐसा हिंदुस्तानी नाम होगा।
Following his resignation on the 26th of August, the veteran leader targeted the Congress High Command, accusing Rahul Gandhi of immaturity and of letting a coterie of inexperienced people run the party. After Ghulam Nabi Azad's resignation, over 24 prominent legislators, including a former Deputy Chief Minister, 8 former ministers, a former MP, 9 legislators across Jammu and Kashmir resigned from the Congress and joined his camp.
BJP has criticized Congress Party's rally in Delhi as a version of Parivar Bachao Andolan. Briefing media in New Delhi, party leader Sambit Patra alleged that Congress leaders Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, who are currently out on bail in National Herald case, organized this demonstration as they are scared. He said that during UPA rule, the rate of inflation was around 9% for close to 22 months and the state of economy was in shambles.
Rahul Gandhi, the Congress's Sahjada, today rolled out an immature speech. उन्होंने कहा कि नफरत केवल उसी के जहन में होता है जिसके मन में डर होता है। राहुल जी, 5,000 करोड़ के नेशनल हेराल्ड घोटाले में आप और सोनिया जी बेल में बाहर हैं। जांच चल रही है। स्वाभाविक है, जो लोग भ्रष्टाचारी थे, जो लोग भ्रष्टाचारी हैं और जिनको लगता था करप्शन इज देयर बर्थराइट एंड टू गेट अवे फ्रॉम करप्शन, टू गेट अवे फ्रॉम द इंस्टीट्यूशंस ऑफ इंडिया इज देयर एंटाइटलमेंट, तो स्वाभाविक है वो आज डरे हैं। और यही डर है राहुल गांधी जो आपके भाषण में नफरत और क्रोध झलक रहा था।
Addressing the gathering at Ram Leela Maidan earlier in the day today, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi had claimed that inflation and unemployment are increasing in India. He claimed that ideology of Congress can bring the country on the path of progress. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has invited people to share the ideas and suggestions for his Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio, which will be broadcast on the 25th of this month. It will be the 93rd episode of the monthly radio program. People can share their views in the Namo app or MyGov open forum. They can also dial the toll-free number 1800-117800 and record their message for the Prime Minister in either Hindi or English. The phone lines will remain open till 23rd September. People can also give a missed call on 1922 and follow the link received in SMS to directly give their suggestions to the Prime Minister.
Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for the 1.3 billion citizens across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with a series, Azad Bharat Ki Baat, Akashwani ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio.
आजाद भारत की बात आकाशवाणी के साथ स्वतंत्रता के 75 वर्ष का उत्सव, जीवंत यात्रा की स्मृतियां, स्वतंत्र भारत की उपलब्धियां और कुछ रोमांचक पल सुनना न भूलें। आकाशवाणी के FM गोल्ड चैनल 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज और दूसरे चैनलों पर 15 अगस्त से प्रतिदिन प्रसारित श्रृंखला आजाद भारत की बात आकाशवाणी के साथ।
In today's episode, we bring you the story of the Bharat Ratna awardees from 2001 onwards.
In 2001, Nightingale of India, renowned playback singer Lata Mangeshkar was conferred with Bharat Ratna Award.
मैं उन लोगों को कभी नहीं भूल सकती हूँ। गाना बनाते थे, मुझे कहा करते थे, देखो लता, ये खास मैंने तुम्हारे लिए बनाया है, तुम नहीं गाओगे तो ये मैं गाना करूंगा नहीं। आज ये फिल्म देखते हुए मुझे सब लोग याद आए। मैं फिल्म इंडस्ट्री की बहुत बहुत आभारी हूँ। जो एक लता नाम का पत्थर था, आज उन्होंने उसको भारत रत्न बना दिया है।
Hindustani classical Shehnai exponent Ustad Bismillah Khan was also awarded in the same year. In 2009, Pandit Bhim Sen Joshi, the celebrated Hindustani classical vocalist, was honored. In 2014, eminent scientist Dr. C.N.R. Rao was given the award.
I'm very, very grateful. Working not just been writing papers after papers, books after books. For the last 54 years, I have a large number of young people who have done PhDs with me, done research with me, and at the end of such a long career, if somebody looks at it and says it deserves an highest national award, I'm very grateful. I have got a lot of international awards in science, that is different. But getting a national award, my own country giving it, I think it's a great honor.
Sachin Tendulkar, the only player to score more than 34,000 runs in both ODI and Test cricket, was also given the award in 2014.
It's the biggest honor for me and I'm extremely delighted on receiving Bharat Ratna. I'd like to reiterate what I said a couple of months ago, that this recognition, this award, I'd like to dedicate this to my mother. I'm extremely proud to be born in this beautiful nation, and I'd like to express my gratitude for all the love, affection and support that I've received for a number of years.
In 2015, scholar and educational reformer Dr. Madan Mohan Malviya and seasoned parliamentarian and former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee were honoured. In 2019, former President of India Pranab Mukherjee received the honour. Educationist and social reformer Nanaji Deshmukh was also honoured in the same year.
मानव की जो समग्रता है उसके संबंध में ये निश्चित एक आधारशिला बनाए कि मानव केवल शरीर नहीं, मानव शरीर, मन, बुद्धि और आत्मा चारों मिलकर के एक एकात्म व्यक्तित्व है और इन चारों का संतुलित विकास यह मानव का विकास है.
Famous composer, playback singer, poet and filmmaker from Assam, Bhupen Hazarika, was also conferred the Bharat Ratna Award in 2019.
Reward and award dono mila, and NFDC perhaps got for the first time such money for a musical. Music was not inseparable from international films, you see. Dil hum kare ghabraye, dhan dham dham kare gar jaye. एक बूंद कभी पानी की मोरी अखियों से बरसाए.
Union Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah today urged all the states to pay attention towards improving security and facilities at the prisons. He asked all the states to adopt the modern prison code introduced by the Narendra Modi government in 2016 for better prison management. The Home Minister was addressing the gathering after the inauguration of the 6th All India Prison Meet at Trans Stadia in Ahmedabad.
और जेल को जिस दृष्टि से समाज में देखा जाता है उस दृष्टि को भी बदलने की जरूरत है. हर कैदी स्वभाव से क्रिमिनल नहीं होता. कई बार कुछ घटना ही ऐसी हो जाती है कि अलग अलग प्रकार के गुनाह में उनका इन्वॉल्वमेंट आता है और सजा भी होती है. ये समाज को चुस्त दुरुस्त रखने के लिए बहुत जरूरी प्रक्रिया है, क्योंकि दंड ही नहीं होगा तो भय नहीं होगा, भय नहीं होगा तो डिसिप्लिन नहीं होगी और डिसिप्लिन नहीं होगा तो स्वस्थ समाज की हम कल्पना नहीं कर सकते. इसलिए दंड की प्रक्रिया तो बहुत जरूरी है.
Later this evening, Union Home Minister launched the anthem and the mascot of the 36th National Games at the Trans Stadia in Ahmedabad. The theme of the anthem is Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat. The 36th edition of the Games will take place from the 29th of this month till the 12th of October in 6 cities of the state, namely Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, Surat, Vadodara, Rajkot and Bhavnagar. Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel and Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Anurag Thakur were also present during the event. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Shah said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has left no stone unturned to promote sports in the country. Gujarat has broken all records in building Khelo India infrastructure in 10 years under the leadership of Prime Minister. He said a sports city will be built in Gujarat soon.
मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में खेलों के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाने में 10 साल के अंदर सारे रिकॉर्ड तोड़ दिए हैं. कोई भी खेल ऐसा नहीं है जिसकी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कक्षा की स्पर्धा गुजरात में आयोजित की न जा सके. और मैं ये बताने जा रहा हूँ कि जो नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम बना है और उसके बाद में बहुत बड़ा के साथ में एक स्पोर्ट्स सिटी बनने जा रहा है, वो होने के बाद शायद एक ही जगह पे विश्व का सबसे बड़ा स्टेडियम भी होगा और विश्व की सबसे बड़ी स्पोर्ट्स सिटी भी अहमदाबाद में भी होगी.
Addressing the gathering, Sports Minister Anurag Thakur said a record over 8,000 athletes will be participating in the national games this time.
एशियन गेम्स में 11,000 खिलाड़ी होते हैं, टोक्यो ओलंपिक्स में 11,400 खिलाड़ी हुए, कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स में 5,000 खिलाड़ी थे, लेकिन गुजरात में होने वाले नेशनल गेम्स में 8,000 से ज्यादा खिलाड़ी आएंगे. ये भी अपने आप में एक रिकॉर्ड है मेरे भाइयों. मैं आप सबके सामने पूछता हूँ, दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा क्रिकेट स्टेडियम कहाँ पर है? गुजरात में ही है और वहीं पर ही नेशनल गेम्स का आयोजन की शुरुआत भी होगी. दुनिया देखेगी 1,15,000 से ज्यादा लोग जब इकट्ठे होंगे, इतना भव्य उसकी शुरुआत ओपनिंग कहीं नहीं होगी.
The event also witnessed the closing of 11th Khel Mahakumbh. The Union Home Minister gave prizes to the winners of Khel Mahakumbh.
In Asia Cup cricket, the high-voltage T20 match of Super 4 stage between India and Pakistan is underway in Dubai. India were 140 for 5 in 16 overs when reports last came in. Earlier, Pakistan won the toss and decided to bowl. India are on the top of the table with 4 points from 2 wins in as many matches. Pakistan finished second with 1 win in 2 matches and 2 points. Indian all-rounder Ravindra Jadeja has been ruled out for the rest of the Asia Cup squad due to knee injury. Akshar Patel will replace him in the team. In US Open tennis, Rafael Nadal, Yannick Sinner, Iga Swiatek and Danielle Collins have entered the 4th round of the tournament in New York. Second seed Rafael Nadal defeated former world number 7 Richard Gasquet for the 18th time to reach the 4th round of men's singles at Flushing Meadows, staying on course for a 23rd Grand Slam title. The Spaniard will next play American Frances Tiafoe. In the other matches, Yannick Sinner rallied past American Brandon Nakashima to reach the 4th round. The 21-year-old Italian will next meet Ilya Ivashka. In women's singles, world number 1 Swiatek downed unseeded Lauren Davis to sail into last 16. The 21-year-old from Poland will face Wimbledon quarter-finalist Yulia Niemeyer of Germany for a place in the last 8. 19th seed American Danielle Collins defeated Elise Cornet of France to advance into the 4th round.
In Durand Cup football, Odisha FC defeated Army Green 1-0 in the Group D fixture at the Indira Gandhi Athletic Stadium in Guwahati today. The lone goal came in the second half. UK will get a new Prime Minister tomorrow. The winner of the leadership contest will be announced by Sir Granham Brady, chairman of the 1922 Committee of Conservative Backbench MPs. 2 candidates, Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak, are in the fray. The 2 finalists, Sunak and Truss, were elected by Conservative lawmakers after several rounds of voting.
China and Japan today grounded ferries and flights as Typhoon Hinnam-Nor, the strongest global storm this year, blew its way past Taiwan and the Koreas with fierce winds and heavy rains. Cities in eastern China suspended ferry services and deployed more than 50,000 police officers to aid with rescues and guide traffic away from danger areas.
And now let us have a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi is expected to have partly cloudy sky. Mumbai is likely to have rain or thunder showers towards afternoon or evening. Jammu and Muzaffarabad are expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Gilgit will have mainly clear sky. In the south, Hyderabad will experience generally cloudy sky. Bengaluru will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Thiruvananthapuram will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. In the northeast, Guwahati will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Imphal, Aizawl and Kohima will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Shillong and Itanagar will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Gangtok will have generally cloudy sky. And Agartala will also have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Former chairman of Tata Sons, Cyrus Mistry, killed in a road accident in Maharashtra. Vice President, Prime Minister and corporate world mourn the untimely demise. President Draupadi Murmu to confer the national awards to 46 selected teachers for 2022 in New Delhi tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to also interact with the awardees. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to embark on a 5-day visit to Mongolia and Japan tomorrow. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina begins 4-day visit to India tomorrow. Indian Army Chief General Manoj Pandey reaches Kathmandu on 4-day visit to Nepal. Home Minister Amit Shah launches anthem and mascot of the 36th National Games in Ahmedabad. In Asia Cup Cricket, T20 match of Super 4 stage between India and Pakistan underway in Dubai. And in tennis, Rafael Nadal and Rajnath reach the 4th round of the US Open. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.